In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. Cash, how you doing?
Yes, sir, I'm doing. I am doing. How about yourself?
Well, you know, good as always.
Surviving, thriving.
It's always a special day when we can come into the studio because today, Cash, we are doing our Foreign Film Friday.
It is Foreign Film Friday. Another week has rolled around. Yeah.
It's got to be my favorite day. It's the end of the work week. You get the weekend off. You get to come in, review a film.
Yeah. And the votes are in.
The votes are in.
The ballots have been added up.
They have been. We
tallied
them up.
And we have our... we know we were kind of, if you've seen the poll, you know what's happening this week.
Yes, you do.
But Kumbalangi Nights was our winner this week.
And man, did it win. It blew Village Rockstar, it blew Ugly, and it blew Ship of Theseus.
Kumbalangi Nights won by 59%. The closest one was Ugly with 27%.
And we had almost 1,000 votes this time. Still
we did.
We have not hit that 1,000 vote mark yet, but I think soon we will.
We'll break it. We'll have to. Yeah, we're going to for sure. But so our review this week will be Kumbalangi Nights, and that's a long one coming. A lot of people have told us to review that.
Yeah, they're like, please review it.
We reacted to that pretty early on, too.
We did. Sure. Yeah, that was a pretty early trailer reaction.
So long ago that I didn't even remember what the movie was by the time I started. I'm like, oh, now I remember.
I know what it
exactly.
is, yes.
But so let's talk about what is going to be in the poll for next week.
Yeah, and what we've actually decided.
Yeah, we've added one in. So Kumbalangi Nights is out. Yes. The remaining three are now Ugly, Village Rockstar, and Ship of Theseus.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and reveal what the fourth film in the poll will be?
Yeah, fourth film we will be adding is another film that we reacted to very early on. Might have been one of our first.
Yes.
But it is Go Goa Gone, the zombie comedy.
Yeah, zombie comedy.
Yeah, zombie comedy. So we are looking forward to that. So that will be in the poll this week. So if you want to see us review that, make sure you vote.
Go and
Absolutely,
vote.
Yeah.
We have been accused as well of only doing thrillers in our polls, but I don't think Village Rockstar
Thriller and dark movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Village Rockstar did not look like a thriller.
Kumbalangi Nights is... I don't know.
I wouldn't call that a thriller.
It's not. It's definitely not a thriller. There's no mystery to
no,
it.
At all. None.
No, but Ugly. Ugly is the only
Ugly.
one that is. And Ship of Theseus, that's a drama. That's definitely not a thriller.
No.
At all. So, I don't know. One guy was like, yeah, we only do dark films. But Go Go Gone, although it is zombies, but I think it's much more lighthearted.
I think we've been pretty diverse, I got to say. We did a sports film, too. We did Dongle.
We've done comedies. We've done gangster films.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy was like,
strangest.
Have we done a thriller yet?
I don't think we have. Maybe. I think and Hundun was a dark comedy.
Yeah, I don't think it was a thriller. And Tumbat, I think, was just a horror.
Yeah.
Jalika 2, I guess, was a thriller.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's what. So maybe that guy just
saw Jalika 2 and he was like, dude, all you guys do is
if you don't want us to do it, then vote and get out there and get other people to vote for the movie that you want. And let us know what you're voting for this week.
Yeah.
Give us a comment.
Let us know in the comment section.
Yeah, and let us know why you think it is the best film to be reviewed.
Yep.
All right, should we get into it?
Let's jump into Kumbalangi Nights.
Absolutely. A 2019 Indian Malayalam film, which we... Love
Malayalam style film. It is just so surreal. It's realistic.
It's very grounded. Yep. And it deals with tough subjects.
Yes.
Always.
Subjects
that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let alone make a film about.
Of course.
Like toxic masculinity, which is surprisingly enough, Kumbalangi Nights is another film that deals with that, and another Malayalam film as well. Jalika 2, that was its main theme as well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it must reflect that that's a big problem. I mean, it's a problem everywhere.
It's a problem everywhere. Yeah, to be fair. But
to this, and I mean, especially to this extent too. I mean, in the film, it's very evident for sure, and it's a tough subject. But yeah, we've been pretty lucky with all of our foreign films, but with our Malayalam films specifically, because this is another, what I thought, really good film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. You know, I got to be honest. Some of the cultural, like, living situations and like kind of when it involves, like, I was very not confused, but just it's different for me to see the father, or not the father-in-law, but the brother-in-law kind of be baby's mediator to get married and stuff.
And not even the fact that he wasn't even the brother. He was the brother-in-law.
Yeah.
But I think that just adds on to that story of toxic masculinity. Like, this guy had to be in charge of all these women's lives.
When it's a control
constantly.
Thing.
Yeah, constantly. And when he didn't get control, he just broke.
Yeah.
he literally broke. His mind broke.
It snapped, dude. He could not handle it.
He had to do some corner time.
Uh-huh. Fahad Faizil, which was also in Ann Hundun.
And he was
Super Deluxe. Excuse me, Super Deluxe.
I was gonna catch you on that.
But
you saw my face?
Yeah, I did. I was and then I was like, oh shit, I messed up.
Because I knew as soon as you said that, the people on the comments, what?
They already lit me up.
What the fuck was that?
Like, what is that?
Come again? I was just typing so hard. He was in Super Deluxe, and he was fantastic in Super Deluxe.
Amazing, because that whole premise in Super Deluxe was about his wife cheating on him and then having to hide the dead body.
Yeah, and then him having to work.
It was great.
But he is so great in this, too, man. He is in a kind of different role where he was kind of a pushover in Super Deluxe. In this, he's kind of fucking horrifying.
Kind of maniacal.
And scary, man. Those scenes were, we'll jump around, but those scenes early on when he's just with his wife and he's like getting on the motorcycle and she's so fucking scared. You see how
terrified of him.
I mean, it's textbook domestic abuse.
Oh, for sure. This man is physically abusing
absolutely. Her. Yeah, right at the start, and how scared, and like when the kid kicked his soccer ball over to him and she was like, just mortified that he was going to beat the shit out of this kid, I guess.
Yeah, just for a soccer ball going in your yard. Like, calm down. Dude.
And she's like, oh, come in. And he starts his bike, and she is just jumpy, and he just fucking loves it.
Well, he thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't like, what's wrong? Like,
it's just
he
textbook.
was enjoying it.
If you read a textbook about this exactly. Yeah, a guy that gets off on hurting other people.
I think that's literally the definition of a sadist. Like someone who enjoys someone else's pain.
But those scenes were so well because they were very tense, and the music was perfect for those scenes. Because you tense up. You're like, Jesus, this guy you never know when he's gonna wheel around and just smack the shit out of someone. And there are slaps in this movie.
Oh, there are slaps.
Talk about slaps.
Pretty well done slaps.
And a cop gives out a slap too.
He does.
A little street justice. Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, that was a crazy turn of event.
That was.
I did not see that coming at all. And then I was like, oh my God. Like, so not only did you try to kill, and again, we're jumping around, but not only did you try to kill yourself, and then you tell him, if it's a son, name it after me. And then he's taking the shekels off the roof, and he falls through, and he killed his friend.
Yeah. So
it's just like, oh my God, dude.
So the entire movie revolves around these four brothers. These brothers that live in Kumbalangi village, right? And they live in a really shitty part. They call it shitland.
They do, literally.
It's a funny scene when they call it. But yeah, they live in these really crappy house, and they they're all at each other's throats until it really matters, and that's kind of the whole. But yeah, that scene when he is the older brother is Saji, and he's a big fuck up.
Yes.
But yeah, that scene when he gets drunk, because it's before that's a crazy scene too, is because they're always getting in fights and whatnot, fist fights.
Which is funny.
And right at the start, the first one is funny.
It is funny.
But they're fighting, they're just grabbing each other's nuts. It's a fight style I am not familiar with, but one that I do not want to run into.
Absolutely not. That is a win. Number one, and that is it. Yeah. You have to win. And I mean,
that is if you are dying, because you better be dying to grab, because if not, people are just going to beat the shit out of you after. Because it's not a way you want to even win a fight.
No, it's not, because you're going to get called names afterwards.
Yeah, and you're going to ruin that man's life. It's not. But yeah, that was very funny. But the fight after when Sanjeev hits, is it Frankie?
Yeah, Frankie.
The youngest one. And then the second older brother, who's mute, comes fucking... I don't even know where he was at.
Bonnie?
In the shadows? He comes flying in with an oar.
Yeah.
Like he came right out of the river.
When I like the dynamic too, because that one scene in particular, it kind of summed up the relationship of all four brothers in one scene. I thought it was brilliant writing. When Bonnie comes in with his friends and he's paddling in, Frankie's at the
soccer.
Well, no. This is the fight scene when Sanji and Bobby are rolling around fighting, and then he goes, "Oh, my brothers are fighting again." He turns the boat around, and then he leaves Frankie there to just deal with them.
Oh, yeah, that's at the very start.
And I was like, at the start of the film. But it summed up the relationship perfectly between the four brothers.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, man, that's got to be tough for Frankie. Like, I felt bad for Frankie and Bonnie.
Oh, yeah, but then it's nice when the women come to live with them, and Frankie's all fucking happy, because now they're like a regular house. So that scene is really, really sweet and well played out, too, well written. To where at that point you're relieved that there's some kind of civility,
sort of normalcy too.
Yeah.
And again, they did a good job of like showing the family dynamic too. When they go and visit their mom, and they're
mom
just like,
it's all fucked up situation.
Yeah, she's a devout missionary.
She abandoned them.
Yeah. Abandoned them after their father died.
When they were young.
Yeah, very young, which is just
and that
so
sounds like
sad.
a cult to me.
It does sound like a cult because it's like, you know what? Like,
if you're abandoning your family, the sense, I mean, no, what religion's asking you to do that?
And to never see your children, and not even take 10 days off for your son who's getting married.
Well, at first they're asking for a few days, just a few days.
Just a few days.
Yeah,
and
what religion is doing that? That's like Jonestown.
Yeah, it is.
Like, don't
scary,
leave,
dude.
Don't talk to you over. It never really got into that.
No, it didn't.
But it just, I mean,
but it gave you just enough, I thought, at the same time, too. You didn't need to know the specifics of what religion or any of that.
No. But, well, because it was just there to add on to this, like, this masculinity that they all had to show because of the abandonment, the death of their father. They all had to be like, and they were constantly all trying to one-up each other.
Yes.
Like, manly-wise.
Yep.
Especially between Bobby and Saji. Yeah, exactly. They were constantly trying to one-up each other to the point where they weren't getting anything done.
No.
They were both jobless.
I know.
Sanji relied 100% on his immigrant friend. He was taking advantage of him, of the only guy that liked him, the only guy that ever helped him or anything. He was constantly taking advantage of him. And that's when they get in that fight, and it just all comes to a boiling point. Like, it's obviously this toxic masculinity is getting to where it's wearing on them mentally. Yes. Like, their mental health is getting to a point where Sanji attempts to kill himself after his only friend says, "I'm leaving."
And
the friend that he's only treated like shit.
Yeah.
And now the guy's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking."
He's like, "I'm out of here too, dude.
You suck."
And it was kind of a pile on because they blamed Saji for the mom leaving them, and then Saji goes to his friend, his only friend, and his friend's leaving him.
This was right
so
after
abandoned.
Saji got beat for beating a Frankie.
Beating
so
Frankie
he had it coming. I mean,
it's not
like
he's not perfect, but it is well fleshed out with a character because there you see Saji and you do have sympathy for him, but you also realize at the same time this dude is not perfect.
Well, no,
he's
putting himself in these situations because of. But at some point, he goes and he actually gets help. He goes and he talks to someone.
He does,
and that's where it becomes this sharp contrast of this is someone that has problems but goes and gets help, versus the guy who doesn't do anything and then he snaps and he ties up his entire family and it becomes a hostage situation. That is where I saw that it was really an important part of the film. I felt is where he goes and because he can't cry anymore.
No.
And so that's always a bad sign. Yeah, so he goes, and then he just opens up to this therapist, and the guy's shirt
I love it. It was
it was a nice scene though, and it wasn't like comical. It was like, oh my god, this is kind of great. You're seeing a man who's just tried to kill himself, just accidentally in the middle of trying to kill himself, killed his best friend. Mm-hmm. His best friend's wife has birth that night. That you killed
she was
her
going
husband.
into labor as he was visiting her.
So this guy is in bad shape, and he comes out of the hospital after the cop slapped him because that was The only justice,
which is
he said, never do it again. Slap, and that's it. No jail time or anything. Just
well, it was in front of a bunch of people too, and that's probably got to be demasculating as well.
Yeah,
like being slapped, that's kind of disgraceful.
Well, that was the whole thing, yeah. Especially because he was more embarrassed when his brother came in and beat him up in front of his other brothers. That was the embarrassment. He didn't really hurt him. He was just embarrassed. But he walks out of the hospital and he's just like a shell. Mary, he goes up to his brother and he's like, I gotta go see a doctor. I gotta get help. It's a crazy scene, man. It's a tough subject for sure. But
it is a tough subject, but I thought that was, and you're totally right, that was the resounding message of this film, and they did a good job of conveying that.
Oh, yeah. And they did a good job of showing, like, if you go down this one road, you'll end up like this. But if you go down this other road, you can end up like this. Yeah. And it's not just, you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping your family.
Yeah. And it doesn't make you less of a man if you need help, if you need someone to talk to. And obviously that's what the message of the film is.
It makes it less of you, man, by tying up your entire family
or
trying to murder
abuse and being a physical
That
douchebag.
is what makes you less of a man. Yeah, taking care of your family does not make you less of a man. But yeah, and that's what happens. He gets help, and then it's like it becomes an amazing home environment. Mm-hmm. He ends up raising, taking the wife in.
Yes.
Because she has no one now. And then also the other brother.
Bobby.
Well, Bobby
is with Baby.
He's the one that was trying to court the girl the entire time. Yeah. Exactly. But the other brother, he also finds an American sweetheart.
Tourist. Yeah, that was awesome. Bonnie found the American tourist.
And which she got kicked out her fucking hotel for.
Because no adultery.
No outs,
not going to take place.
Locals.
No locals, yes.
You can fuck all the Americans.
But remember when he was yelling at her mother?
Yeah.
And he goes, no. He goes, I'm not just going to let people do adultery here. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and relax, again, it was just like this.
And second off, why are you peeking in their room, you creep? You fucking creep. Yeah. Like, come on, dude.
I know, he came flying around. No one asked that why he had his head 3 feet in the... What's going on?
What's going on?
I check all the windows every day, making sure no one's fucking in there.
I also have a hole in the bathroom, too, so if you think you're going to get away with that.
Trust me, there's cameras everywhere. You can't get away. But
one poop a day.
And it was the guy. I mean, it was the main bad guy who also owned all the hotels.
Yeah, Shammy.
Yeah, Shammy, yeah. But again, that added to, like, it was just like this tradition to be this big man or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's also this tradition of not allowing any locals to be with, even though it would hurt his business and make him have less money. It's such this old way of thinking. And even Baby at some point goes, yeah, just, it's going to happen. It's money that we need. And he says, I don't want money like that.
I know. It's like, come on, dude. Are you above the rules?
It's 2019. I mean, you got it.
I love when he pulled out the rule book of his...
Rule 15.
Like, Rule 15, yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know it's a rule.
I know your rules. You show me these probably once a week.
Yeah, at some point, though, I mean, the rules can be broken. Rules can be erased. You can go down to 14.
And, of course, it's good for business. You don't want bad reviews. Exactly what Baby was saying. Yeah, this guy just refused to listen to any woman at all.
Yes,
that's kind of what that was just him not listening to women.
Well, he didn't care. He didn't care for the brothers at all at this point. He hated all of them.
He hated all
especially
of them,
I love that scene of the barber.
The barber scene,
it's
yes,
so good.
And intense too, because he's got the blade at his neck, at Bobby's neck too, and I like that too, where Saji's trying to talk to him about, hey, can they marry? And then he goes, after I finish this. Yeah. And as he's got the knife right to his jugular.
And it's kind of, again, it's a tense moment, and it's kind of like a sad moment, too, because it's the older brother. And the older brother, you're not used to seeing the older brother be the biggest fuck up. You're not used to seeing the entire family take care of the older brother. So he did, like, get dressed up and pretend to be, like, real fancy and nice, and it just blew up in his face. He said, you live on shit land. They were cracking up laughing when they said that.
Yeah, they were making fun
you almost made me break. Yeah, it's brutal. It's not that.
I got to say, though, Saji and Bobby, those two actors, Saji was played by Sobin Shair. I thought
I think he's the lead in this. Yeah. I mean, I would say he probably has the most screen time.
I would agree with that. But I thought his performance playing Saji was really well done. I thought his acting was great. Yeah. It was all over the place. He had to convey a lot of emotions and, over a tough subject too, and dealing with a lot of crazy things throughout the story. I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. Yeah. A tough subject for sure. Simply playing someone that's suicidal and that's got to go through this roller coaster of emotion. But yeah, he did an amazing job. All the actors did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I thought at the start I thought Frankie was going to be the lead, the youngest brother, but you end up not seeing so much of him.
No,
later
you
on.
didn't.
It's more Sanji and Bobby, and especially with Bobby. Bobby too is the second where he's because he's trying to constantly get to marry Baby. Yeah, because really just wants to get it in, but he can't tell marriage.
He can't tell marriage, and she's holding out.
She's
too.
locking
Good for
it
her.
up. She's locking it up.
She is a woman of principle.
That is a awkward movie theater experience that they went through. That was very awkward. Where he ended up running away, surprisingly. You think it would be like the woman that'd be like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Yeah, that's what I would.
He was the one that was so hurt.
He was butthurt.
Because remember, he pouts for like weeks after that.
He did. Yeah, he was actually acting like a real dick.
But it's the same thing. It follows the theme of the film.
Masculinity.
It follows the theme perfectly. Yeah, and it shows each one of them, except for the little brother Frankie. He hasn't gone to that stage yet where he needs to be like that.
And that's funny you bring that up, because one thing I noticed about Frankie's character, and whether or not like there were sad things or happy things, he was always smiling.
Yeah.
Even at some points where I'm like, geez, dude, is this all this kid does is smile? But I really thought that was part of his character and part of his, demeanor.
Well, he's smiling until he gets slapped.
You're right.
He
Well,
was not smiling.
that'll straighten anyone's face.
I
out.
laughed so hard to win because they're talking about because it's right after the barber scene, and he's talking about, and it's sad because it's Sanji. He's talking about we're gonna fix the house up or whatever, and we're gonna make this work. He's trying to make it work for Bobby. But Frankie keeps saying, this house is shit, and whatever. Yeah. But I laughed so hard when he flies into the room and kicks his soccer ball into the lake. He goes, go get that. It's so funny. He kicks it so damn far.
That was a good kick.
Yeah. He goes, there, go get that. It's so funny, though. But, yeah, I laughed out loud during that scene. But it's a brutal scene because Sanji's just trying to make the best out of it. And it's like for the first time he's trying to make the best for his brothers. And Frankie's not giving him anything.
No,
not giving him a fucking inch.
No way.
We don't even have a bathroom. This place sucks. We don't. Yeah. I thought that place they lived was cool too. I thought it was fucking awesome. Around the water and everything.
Exactly,
was fucking
the waterfront.
sweet.
You can be a fisherman. One thing that just struck me instantly while watching this whole film was the cinematography. I thought was beautiful.
It was.
I thought there were a lot of really beautiful shots. I can think about few in particular. I really loved the slow-mo with the sun setting and the fishermen, how they, the two, Bobby and whoever else, throwing out the nets.
Oh, yeah, right. Like when they start.
It just looked so good, and the camera's just slowly coming back. They had a lot of scenic shots that I thought looked just beautiful.
Well, the scene when he's hanging himself, and he comes to the roof, and it's shot like through the doorway or something, and you see him fall. You see Sanji fall, and then the other guy fall too right behind him. It's beautifully shot, but Malayalam film, they know how to shoot film.
They know how to shoot film. They really
film,
do, because like even the small things too, with like the rule of thirds and then the focus and in and out of focus, it looked great. It really did.
Shall we talk about the final showdown?
Yeah, let's talk about the final
Let's just
showdown.
talk about the entire scene leading up to it. It's a very fucking tense scene. It's when he's yelling at Baby about not getting married or whatever, and then his wife finally stands up for herself.
Simi does, finally, yes.
Finally, and he just, like we talked, he breaks.
I feel like his eye was twitching. Yeah. He was just like going crazy.
Goes, okay, and he just walks into the corner, and it's fucking
awkward.
Wild. It's weird. And the sisters are like, okay, we're heading out now.
Remember Simi? She just opens her phone and calls, like, I'm assuming his brother or something.
Not just after. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No, she calls the mom.
Oh, the mom. That's right. Yeah. And Simi's still in the corner.
She's like, it's been 15 minutes. It's fucking.
It's
the guy
so
said there were
terrifying.
50. Yeah, right in the corner. It's such a weird scene. It's hard to talk about, but it is such, because he goes right from arguing, boop. Robot. Yeah. He's like, he's got to go plug in to recharge. And then he snaps. He snaps again. He re-snaps. And he goes, what does he say? He says something crazy like, okay, time for bed.
Yeah, he goes, okay, let's go to bed. And
he really becomes Jack Torrance. He does. From The Shining.
From The Shining, yes. Great reference.
He goes, I'm full of them.
Of course.
But he really did. And it even seems that way when when Bonnie closes the door, remember, and he's got the crowbar and he's trying to come through the door. It's got Shining vibes.
Oh, it does.
It makes a dark twist for sure there at the end.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Because like building the build up towards that, like in the soccer ball, the flat soccer ball, when they're like, wow, like the music gets really dark. And then, you know, the scene right before he really has his meltdown, it's like that weird dinner scene where it's like really super tense music. And I'm like, why are they playing all this tense music?
I know. And at first I'm thinking, is he poisoning them?
That's what I thought.
Because they're like eating food, and he's like got a shitty grin. He's like, this is good. And
he's like, we're all going to start eating together. And I'm like, what is he trying to do?
Just trying to control is what I'm guessing. I mean, after seeing it, it's like he was just happy that he could control everyone at that point. But yeah, it builds up to the snap pretty well.
Yes, it does.
Because he snaps.
Well, because Bobby's coming over.
Well, Bobby just gets like a bad feeling because he's calling her. Remember?
Yeah, and she
doesn't
won't answer. He's
So
called
he
her like
runs
20
over,
times.
and this is a really good moment because now all the brothers are working together, you know.
Finally, they're
Yes,
all on
exactly,
the same page, getting along.
And it was built up to it with everyone kind of working together in the house. They were like putting a toilet in at one point. Things were looking really nice.
Yeah, and one scene that was really nice too is Bobby finally, because Bobby was kind of the one always against the women in the house.
Yeah.
And then, you know, his friend, Vijay, who passed away, you know, falling through the roof, his wife was there with the baby, and he said, you know what? We're going to treat you like a sister.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool scene because he was finally just quit with the whole masculine shit and just was allowing her to be a part of the family. I thought that was a nice scene.
It was really well done. Yeah.
But yeah, they all get together, and Bobby goes over there.
Gets fucking smacked hard.
He does.
We don't even see it. The only thing we see is the door close, and then
he comes out.
he just walks
Jimmy comes
out
out and throws both of his flip-flops in the water. And that's never
That's
a good
bad
sign.
sign when
No, not a good sign.
because a man's always with his flops.
Of course.
I mean, so if you got random flops and no man, you immediately know, oh my God, something happened to this man.
Yeah.
So yeah, he throws his flops. He just knows it. He's like staring at the brothers, like just, you know, masculine. Like, come on, bring it on. Like, we're like, fuck
you ain't
let's
got
do it.
nothing on you. You aren't real men. And that's what he says when they're scrambling.
Because you
too.
haven't fought a real
real
man.
man.
Yeah, and he's pretty tough.
Pretty tough guy. Yeah, I mean, 2v1, and he handled those boys.
Yeah, he did. Well, he did have a slew of weapons hidden around the house. Like he's still got a ninja.
He was just waiting for the day some asshole breaks into his house.
Probably was. He probably was. I mean, that's kind
Well
of. I'm
prepared.
guessing that's the thinking of this toxic masculinity. So they're always prepared. They never know when they got to go to war.
Cannot wait to get in a fight.
So he's got all kinds of weapons hidden around. He's got crowbars. He's got straight
hairbrush.
razors.
I thought that was a hairbrush that he grabbed up the top of the shelf.
I don't know. Well, I don't know
What
what
was
he
that?
beat the shit out of someone
at
with
first
it.
I thought it was a
like
knife.
a rod or something.
Yeah, and then he was going
'Cause
like
he's hitting
this.
the top of it. It was like a
Yeah.
screwdriver maybe
Yeah,
or something
something.
like that. But yeah, he ends up getting the best out of both of them because these guys aren't men. It turns out they're men amongst each other when they were trying to one up each other. But when it becomes to the actual being a man, all talk.
Well, there's always a bigger dog.
All
out
talk,
there.
no walk. Yeah. But they do. They end up all working together at some point, and they end up catching him in a net.
In a fishnet, which is funny.
Yeah, funny,
that's
'cause-
what they started doing
yeah.
as work. Fine, because
Finally,
Bobby walked out
they're
of the job.
surrounded by these water, and none of them fish.
I know. It's like, what?
It's like that's the only thing they do in that village.
And Bobby finally got the idea when he caught the fish with his foot. That
Like,
with
oh my
with
God,
baby. He's like,
these
oh.
rivers are full of
of
fish,
fish.
and we can eat these fish.
And hold on, we can sell these fish.
People are willing to buy fish. Yeah, like he's like a caveman
He's
connecting
just now
all the dots.
figuring it out. Yeah.
But yeah, it is a nice moment. They catch him in a net, and it's nice because they don't kill him. Because
No, they don't.
I didn't know how it was going to end. I thought it was going to end something dark where someone's just going to end up stabbing him once, and he was just going to fall over.
Well, I thought it was going to get real dark too because when Bobby was passed out,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to look over and see the two women's corpses.
That's what I thought too. Well,
And
I knew
was like,
I knew he was going to see something because it kept him on the floor for a long time.
too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I was like, this is not turning out good for those two ladies.
Yeah, it ended up just being he just tied him up and threw him under the bed.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God. Well, I'm sure he was going to get to that.
He probably was going to kill him
Until
at some
Bobby
point.
kind of probably ruined it. He probably got in the middle of it. But yeah, they end up netting him up, probably getting him to a hospital, I hope. I hope they don't just give him the
hopefully.
slap treatment for this one.
I don't think that's going to be effective.
Because I
for this
think in
guy.
some cases the slap does work.
It does work.
It's obviously, but
It's been proven to work, especially
many times,
you're breaking the law
many
when
a times.
Singham's on
Absolutely.
duty.
But I think for this one, he may need more medical, maybe therapy.
Evaluation.
Yes. Yeah.
few weeks, couple
maybe
months.
Just slapping the shit out of this guy and sending him right back on the streets of is not the best form of justice.
No, especially when he is an abuser.
Yeah.
You don't abuse an abuser because he's just going to go back and abuse.
Because they shouldn't even have let Sanji go out. After he killed him, after he tried to kill himself and kill his friend, they just gave him a slap.
And the last thing one of his friends say is, "Don't do anything stupid."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, come on. Really? That's not the best thing to say
Don't
to a
go
guy
and kill
who just-
yourself.
Yeah.
We'll all be pissed.
Oh,
Yeah, this guy is just a shell of a person. But slap and go. They don't have enough time for any of those. A lot of paperwork.
A lot of paperwork.
A slap is easy. Super fucking easy. But yeah, that is how it ends. It ends with them
catching him, and then Bobby and Baby get married.
Yes. And they all got women now.
They do.
It's a great turnaround.
Yeah, it is.
It's an awesome turnaround.
Good for them. And a happy ending.
And you feel like because of these events that happen, now they're going to, change their ways and treat these women right. After seeing this fucking guy, I assume it'd be like, yeah, I mean, because they got to have all PTSD. I'm pretty
definitely.
strong.
Yeah, they're all could have been
They're
murdered.
kidnapped. Yeah. That's a rough. It's a rough time for that guy and his wife too. So now she's got to divorce his ass.
Well, understandable.
Yeah, he was fucking loopy. Something was gonna happen. He was gonna end up killing that little fucking fat kid.
He was.
Jesus Christ, that kid knew something too. Like,
Oh, he
I'm
knew
neighbors
something was
with
up.
this family.
He's like, yeah,
I
this
hear
guy.
a lot of slaps.
Yeah,
so,
this guy's a little off.
because the kid was like, I don't need the ball back. He's like, I'm
just
gonna
go buy another
I'll
one."
pick up another sport. I don't need to play soccer anymore. Like, it's not even worth it to me. But yeah, is there anything else? Anything else in Kumbalangi Nights?
Well, I think just one little tidbit of information, and we brought it up in the trailer reaction, but I'll bring it up again real quick. The film was only made for 6 crore.
Yeah,
That's pretty small budget. Turnaround and made 39 crore at the box
great.
office.
Yeah, it did really good. Yeah,
So crushed there. But I wanted to bring that up because 6 crore, that's real cheap. It's real cheap.
oh, that's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it? It didn't. It wasn't nominated for a National Academy Award.
I know.
That's
Can you believe
surprising.
it's odd,
I
isn't
love
it?
this
Yeah,
film.
I thought it was good.
I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was funny. It was dramatic, and again, I like films that are willing to touch on a subject that not a lot of people are willing to touch on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it did have a ton of awards, and it was nominated for like almost 30 awards between all these awards.
Everything but a national award.
Yeah, everything but it won everything except one thing that it got nominated for. It won every other category. And
I know. I wonder what
6.
film won it. Yeah, and not even a Filmfare award.
Yeah, there's like 30 something here.
No
I
film?
know, no Filmfare award.
They give those out to fucking everyone.
But the Critics' Choice Film Awards 2020 in Malayalam, it won Best Movie, Best Screenplay.
Well, I would have to agree. Yeah. It was really, really good. And this film just came out as well.
It did, just last year.
I almost forget. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, because all the awards happened in 2020.
Ah, so maybe, or no, yeah. I guess it just didn't. That's so weird it didn't get a national award.
I know. Yeah.
They might just do things a little different there.
Another thing I wanted to bring up was they drink and smoke throughout this entire fucking film.
They do?
Not a single warning. I don't know what version of Jolly Cthulhu did we watch?
I don't know.
The kids, the PBS version? I don't understand what because that's a
I wish it was just clearly explained. Because
if you have gone through the review this long and you're still watching, please explain to us how that works.
Right.
Because that is from the exact same region, both Malayalam film. And this one, they smoked and they drank throughout the entire goddamn film.
I almost wonder if it's different regions, like within the Malayalam community. Like, I don't understand how that works.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's weird. So let us know.
I'm really interested in that because that's the first thing I was thinking of. Like, oh my god, and not one warning, not a single warning,
not a single one throughout the whole film. Weird, right?
But Jolly Cthulhu had him every time alcohol was on.
Every time. Even to the point where the guy's going to the stairway.
And I watched Jolly Cthulhu in 4K too. So so I got 4K warnings throughout the entire thing.
Brutal.
Crystal clear. Yeah. But yeah.
I cannot wait for Charuli to come out.
Oh,
it's gonna be freaking awesome.
I know. I don't know if we're gonna. We might as well put that on a poll because I got a feeling it's gonna win no matter what.
Yeah, or we might just do it for
Yeah,
a
we
pick
might just
'em.
have to do it.
Yeah,
but,
we might have to do 2 that week because we got to see that as soon as
who
it comes
knows
out.
how we're going to be able to see it?
Well, we don't even know when it's going to be released. They just said 2020. I'm like, come on, you guys could release
One
this
guy
in
said,
December.
I know one guy commented and said August.
Oh,
But I have zero clue what he's getting it from because I have not seen.
You got to tell me your source on that one, pal. I mean, do you have an
That
in?
might have been LJP who commented, and he's the only man who knows. He's like, yeah, it's August.
Yeah, just to let you know.
I haven't released yet.
Because I haven't let anyone
Keep that
else
on
know.
the DL.
DL,
though.
yeah.
But, so we might be breaking the news right here that it's been released. I can't imagine though. I mean, it was filmed in 19 days, so I'm guessing he does like, let's just throw it out there.
I mean, yeah, he's already working on his next project.
Fuck, he's probably got 3 in the fucking
know.
oven. I mean, you can make a movie a month. Why not make 12 movies in a year?
And I would watch all 12 of them. LJP.
19 days to shoot, 19 days of post.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
It's simple.
So simple. Simple.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that is our Foreign Film Friday for Kumbalangi Nights. Kumbalangi Nights. Jeez, wow. Thanks for butchering that
You'll
at
get
the
it.
end. Yeah, eventually. Be sure to go to our poll. We're going to post a poll right after this. As we mentioned earlier in this review, we have Village Rockstar, Ugly. Give the other 2.
Ship of Theseus. And Go Gone.
Go Gone. So be sure to go and vote in that poll. Be sure, if you're watching on YouTube, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification as we drop videos here on our channel every single day. You can check out our social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast, SCENEIT Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.